Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard Cisneros at your service. Today I'll be reading the July 9th Daily Inspirational Message, the condensed version. It's 2 paragraphs long. Then I'll send myself to a little prayer and then make a couple comments on the message. And if you find the message of use, please be so kind as to like the video. Thank you for that. Here we go, the title. Solutions to the ego's judgment, stress, anxiety, and anger. Paragraph 1. We have tried to deal with our problems in a myriad of different ways. Then, as soon as we do, more problems pop up, insisting that they must also be solved in order for us to have peace of mind and joy. Is it any wonder why the ego's solutions to our confusion make us feel frustrated, tired, and stressed out? Feeling frustrated, tired, and stressed out are all symptoms of believing that an illusionary set of tools can solve our delusional thinking. There is no need to judge and punish ourselves and others for thinking that the ego's dream is real. That behavior would only feed and fuel the ego's dream. Instead, let us recognize that those who feel this way do so because they have been taught to see, interact with, and participate in the ego's fairy tale as real. Pardon me. Today, paragraph 2. Today, let us put an end to trying to rationalize our judgment, stress, anger, and anxiety. Let us no longer blindly take the ego's bait, no matter how many times the ego tries to convince us that now, in this situation, or with this specific person, is the time to use its tools and mindset. Today, let us stop traveling down the ego's dead-end roads that we now know, thanks to our life experience, only leads us to more confusion, pain, chaos, and regret. We have the scars to prove that we have fought in the ego's battlefields long enough. It's time for peace. It's time to place our life fully in God's hands where it belongs. It is time to trust that our divine plan is perfect and perfect for us. Understanding the plan that we have co-created with God is perfect. Let us today allow gratitude to replace our judgments and fears, and peace to replace our anger and pain. In doing so, joy will replace our sorrow, and the problems we once had will turn into gifts offered to us by God to help us grow, heal, and awaken. All right. Solutions to the ego's judgment, stress, anxiety, and anger. Okay, today I'm going to make 5 points that I trust will assist us in the implementation of today's daily inspiration. Point number 1. Okay, let's consider 2 mindsets. There's a mindset that aligns us with the mind of God, with love, and all of love's expressions, such as peace, joy, compassion, forgiveness, hope, healing. And we call that sometimes, that alignment with the mind of God, we call that oneness, because our minds are one with the mind of God. And then there's a second mindset. That's the ego's mindset. And we sometimes call that the mindset of duality, where there appears to be an opposite to that which is all which is love, which is God. And so in this mindset, we consider things as judgment, anger, resentment, hatred, anxiety, chaos, regret, resentment, revenge. We consider all those real within the mindset of duality, because this mindset that the ego supports is only kept alive if we support it with our time, focus, and energy. And so there's oneness, which is in alignment with the mind of God, and there's duality, which is when your mind is aligned with the mind of the ego's programs, tools, and mindset. Aligned with the mind of God, we come to a place of peace, and we share our loving nature with the world. Aligned with the ego's mindset, we always end up resentful, anxious, worried, doubtful, fearful, in conflict and chaos. Okay, so in point number 1, we simply recognize there's 2 mindsets. And because we have free will, we can choose which mindset to use in any situation. That's point number one. Point number two, let us learn to recognize whose guidance we're following. Are we following God's guidance? And we can recognize that because we have peace. Or are we following the ego's guidance? And we can recognize that because we have chaos. Conflict and chaos. And so if you're not at peace, then you're following the ego's guidance. If you're at peace, then you're following God's guidance. If you're offering expressions of love, you're in alignment with the mind of God, with oneness. If you're offering anything that seems to be in opposition to love, such as judgment, anger, resentment, revenge, anxiety, stress, then you're allowing the ego to think for you. That's duality. So in point number two, we simply learn to recognize. We don't punish ourselves for being in that state of mind, let's say when we're aligned with the ego. Don't punish yourself for that. Don't punish others for that. Simply recognize that you're somewhere you do not belong. So that's point number two. Recognize whose guidance you're following. Are you following true sight, true vision? Or are you following the blind? Okay. Point number three. Let us learn to use every situation that we're experiencing, every interaction, to help us go from level 2, from the duality, or level 2, to level 1, oneness. And so whenever we're in level 2, in duality, and the ego's aligned with the ego's mindset, again, do not punish yourself for that. Do not punish others for that. Simply in point number 2, you recognize it. And now in point number 3, you simply practice going from 2, duality, to oneness. From the ego's mindset to God's mindset. From being out of alignment with the mind of God to being in alignment with the mind of God. And so you use every situation and interaction to practice remembering who you truly are and what you're truly here to do. And so when you find yourself in judgment, in anger, stress, anxiety, don't punish yourself, don't punish others. You recognize it, okay? Oh, okay, I'm in anger, I'm anxious right now. I can use this to practice going from duality to oneness. And the more I practice going from duality to oneness, the less time I spend in the ego's nightmare. And the more time I spend in the state of peace, where I truly belong. And the more time you spend here in the state of peace, the more you begin to recognize, you know what? Yeah, this feels right, this feels good. I belong here, I belong in the state of peace. I belong in alignment with the mind of God. This feels good. But it was only because you got to practice this shift over and over again that you were able to realize that you do not belong here. This is not what you were created for. You were not created to add darkness to darkness. You were created to be the light of the world. And so when you remember that, when you remember your loving nature, you begin to see how different your loving nature is to the ego's delusional story, the ego's story of judgment and anger and resentment and pain and revenge. You see how unlike that is to you, to the truth in you. And so in point number 3, we simply practice going from duality to oneness, from fear to love, from pain to peace. And so that's what we did in point number 3. Point number 4. Pardon me again. Let us learn to thank our brothers and sisters who the ego has programmed us to condemn. Okay? Let us learn to thank those situations, those moments, those interactions that challenged us, that challenged our thinking, that made us feel like we did not belong. Because the more the light in us spends in the darkness, the more the light in us sees how unlike the darkness it truly is. And so the more times we spend in judgment and going through judgment or anger or resentment, the more we see that, no, that's not what I want. That's not what I truly want. I've traveled those roads before. They take me nowhere to the state of peace. So why continue to support them with my time, focus, and energy? No. I now simply thank my brother and sister for being a presence in my life that is helping me experience this duality, this thing that is not me, that is this thing that I do not want. If my brother judges me, I do not want to judge them back because I've played that silly little game 1,000 times before. It gets me nowhere near the state of peace. It gets me nowhere to being who God created me to be, which is the light of the world. And so thank you, brother or sister. Thank you, situation X or Y. Thank you, interaction B or C. Because they're all helpful. They're all helping you see who you are not and who you truly are. The more you practice recognizing who you are not, and you can cross those things off the map, the clearer your destination is to the truth within you, which is the love that God created you to be. And so we thank our brothers and sisters for being part of our process that is helping us recognize that we can offer the light within the darkness. That we can offer forgiveness when the world and your brothers and sisters call for judgment. That we can offer compassion when the world demands condemnation. That we can be a lantern of light and peace to those in the chaos and confusion of the ego storm. And so, in point number 4, we simply thank our brothers and sisters. And we thank our life experience for showing us and for giving us that wisdom, those challenges, for showing us, for giving us the life experience, and the wisdom and understanding that there is a divine design in place and that everything can be used for good. Everything is used in the end for good by God. And so if we understand that, if we understand that even this can, through our practice, through our interactions with the brothers and sisters, can get us back here. So this current shifting can remind us that this is who we are, this is not what we want. Then we're grateful for that. That's point number 4. And the last point is simply to be an example. To be an example of the light within us all. To be an example that there is a better way. That you don't have to follow the way of judgment and stress and anxiety and anger. You don't have to follow that way. Because we've all tried it, and it does not offer us the true everlasting solution of peace that we want. And so we become an example in each moment. We listen to what expression of love the moment is requesting. And if our brothers are judging and they want us to judge back, or our ego wants us to judge them back for judging us, we say no. I'm here to be an example of the light within me. So I offer an expression of love that can solve that judgment. And one expression could be forgiveness, or compassion, or understanding. And so I don't dive into the ego's swamp. I don't swim in the mud. I don't play in the mud with the little piggies. No disrespect to the little piggies. Because, the pigs like it, playing in the mud. Okay, so we become an example of the light within us all. And when we choose forgiveness over judgment, we show our brothers and sisters that there is a better way to peace. There is a more comforting solution. There's a solution that will align them with the light in them, with oneness instead of the duality, the story of the ego. And so that's what we do in point number 5. In point number 5, we simply become love's expressions in the moment interaction or with our brothers and sisters. Whatever aspect and expression of love the moment requests, that's what we offer. And that's how we become an example to them that there's a better way to the truth within. And so that's point number 5. We simply become an example of that light. All right. I think it's good enough for now. Long enough for now. And thank you very much for your time. I love you very much, and God willing, we'll see each other tomorrow. Peace.